Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to the session of ABAP ritual where we are practicing the questions and answer related with ABAP and ABAP related technology like ABAP on HANA, OPS ABAP, ALEI docs, workflow, OData. So as we know that why we are doing this ABAP ritual, right? For the self growth, no self ignorance. We have to keep our self esteem up to the mark, higher self confidence. We have to be competent in the marketplace. We have to get mastery in the interview questions and answer. We have to make our fundamentals strong, super strong knowledge base, and we have to immerse into the knowledge. And of course, at last but not least, help and contribution is the most important part of anyone's life. If you want to grow, help and contribution and returning towards the community from where we are getting so many things to again give back, that is the principle of getting grown and to become the successful. Now, in our last session, whatever we have discussed, let's have the quick recap and then we will go ahead and we will see the questions and answer for the today's session. So we have seen in our last session what are the important points need to be taken care while migrating to S4 HANA or while migrating to HANA database from the conventional database. Right? So these 2 points was very important: identifying the native SQL, right, and putting the order by clause if you are doing some uh, comparison, right? We understood in more detail these 2 points yesterday. SQL hint, secondary indexes, direct access of pool tables and cluster tables. We talked about these points also. These are not mandatory, but it's good to be taken care of. All the first 4 points will be taken care by the functional underscore DB, and remaining point is going to be taken care by the performance underscore DB variant inside the ATC. This is what we have written over here. What are the important variant in ATC for code check while migrating to HANA or S4 HANA? Functional underscore DB and performance underscore DB. It is a pool table, POOL, pool table and cluster table. What I have written? It it is it's a POOL. Sorry, thanks for correcting me. It's a POOL, pool table and cluster tables. So here we have this, and now the another question we discussed: what layer is responsible for converting the application server Open SQL, right, into native SQL? So what layer is responsible for converting the Open SQL application server? We can ignore over here. Converting the Open SQL into native SQL. So database abstraction interface should be the answer. We have seen yesterday also this important question: what is best practices for performance improvement when database is a HANA? Keep data, keep results set a small, decrease the number of database hit, get only those fields which is required. Why to keep the unnecessary code? Use parallel cursor, use the binary search, use buffer, and of course text search and fuzzy search, right? We can use over there. So these are the important points over here in order to have the best practices when we have the HANA as a database or when we are using the S4 HANA. We also understood what is fast data access concept, very, very important, right? So whichever is the very, very important, that is supposed to be, given more priority when we are going for interview. And if you are referring this PPT, all the questions is not very, very important and not very frequently asked. So we have to manage in that way. We have to go through the VVI questions first if we have less time. For example, this is not very important question from interview point of view, okay, but it can be, right? What is the different types of database statement? DDL, DML, DQL, and TCL. What is ACID? A stands for atomicity, C consistency, I isolation, D for durability, right? This we have already discussed in very much detail in our ABAP session, right? So any database has to follow the ACID property. Atomicity, either successful or fail. Consistency, database must be consistent, right? Isolation, all the transactions should be, separated from each other. All the transaction is independent of each other. That's the meaning of isolation. Durability, right? Whatever the state of the database is there. Suppose if we have withdrawn 5,000 rupees and if our total amount was 25,000, so now the current value should be 20,000, and this 20,000 should be there until we do any further transaction. Okay, so durability, right? Durability. Now let's start for today's, and here we are going to see, however, this is not an important question, but you know uh, this can be one of the questions, something like that. Tell some important frequently used syntax, right? Feature over here, that means syntax of new Open SQL, right? So we'll be having some quick recap over here. What are the important and very frequently asked syntax is there with new Open SQL, right? Because this is for ABAP on HANA. So interviewer will expect to know the new syntax, right? Inline declaration. So here, that automatically this LV underscore test, because this is of type integer. So this LV underscore test will be of type I because 5 is integer, same as the JavaScript, right? JavaScript automatically understand that what is the type of right side value, and accordingly it will define its type. So in the same way, it will tell. Here it is a character. So this LV underscore test one will automatically become character data type. This is the data. Data is the keyword over here. Data is the keyword here. And this is how we have to define. Earlier we used to write data LV underscore test type I, right? Data LV underscore test one type char3. But now simply we have to give like this. Okay. In more detail, I have posted 3 or 4 videos on the YouTube. If you are not able to understand here, just go there. I have first used the old syntax, how it was, and instead of the old syntax, what is the new syntax supposed to be used? There I have discussed in very much detail. So you can learn from there. Another, select on database table on the fly declaration. So suppose you want to, you know, declare your internal table on the fly. So here you can see that. Select these 3 fields from MARA into table at the rate data IT underscore tab. So this internal table is going to be automatically defined based upon this 3 field. And what will be the type of this 3 field? This type will be decided by the MARA table. In this MARA table, this field are there, and all these field are having its data element. So that type will be taken from the MARA data element. It will go and check, and accordingly it will, uh, uh, define this internal table, right? Case and when statement in select query. Case and when statement in select query. So in select query, you can use the case and when statement. So let me make it little easier, uh, little more readable. So case, and it will be like this: when, when, then, and end as case demo from db underscore table, right? So this is one example. Again, the another example over here you have, and of course here into table clause will be there, right? Into table at the rate data it underscore tab. Okay, so what I will do, I will put all these in the next slides. Here it is getting puzzled, so I will put it here. Just remove this case and end case we have there in the first slides. Okay, let's go once again here, and now, so the first point, the inline declaration we have seen over here. This is how we use the inline declaration, and here also, right? This at the rate of data it underscore tab, how this is how we use the second point. I'm just going to one example is fine. You should already, uh, you should already be understanding all these points, then only will be able to understand here, otherwise it will be difficult. Okay, case and when statement in select query. So this is how we write the case and when statement in select query itself, right? And another point over here, that select on internal table, NetWeaver 7.52 onwards, you can directly, you know, select, you can write the select query on the internal table, right? A database table we were having earlier and now also, but NetWeaver 7.52 onwards, you can put directly the select query on this internal table as well. Aggregate function, see here, mean, max, right? Mean, max. So let me do one thing. This, this mean is the aggregate function, and then max is the aggregate function, right? We can use, earlier also aggregate function was there, but we were not supposed to use the aggregate function with the conventional database, with the non-HANA base database, non-HANA database, right? The reason behind, those database which were not powerful, and all this aggregation happens at the database layer. So if our database is strong and we're going to use the aggregate function, it's going to help us, right? Count, right? And so whenever we use the aggregate function, we must have to use the group by clause, right? We must have to uh, reuse the group by clause. Rahul is asking some question. Let me unmute Rahul. Yes, Rahul.
So Pankaj,
Mm-hmm.
regarding this select query on internal table,
Mm-hmm.
can we think of this one as a replacement of read also? Because read or loop statement, because sometimes what we have to do is, for reading a particular record, we have to loop multiple times because there can be multiple records. So can we think of it as a replacement of that thing?
Okay, good question. So you mean to say that, means suppose if we have some internal table, and so in where condition just we can put the data, something like that, right? So it will
Yes,
be a
yes,
like,
yes.
yeah, I think
So
we can.
just to verify that we have a particular record or not, something like that.
Yeah, I think we can do that one. Okay. I have not done
So
that, but because this
okay.
feature is there, we can use
Mhm.
in that perspective.
So
also.
any other use, like real case, real time example of how can we use, like this is I think this can be one, but any other particular use which you might have undergone where you use this select
So
on
I
internal
think,
table?
for example, just as we do, like we put the loop at internal table into work area where we give some where condition, right? And then inside a loop and end loop, if we have to segregate the records based upon some condition, we put inside loop and end loop. So there I think it can be useful, right? Directly we can write the select query on the internal table and we can put it over here, the where condition. Just check it supports the where condition or not, I'm not sure. Okay. Where condition, if it is going to support the where condition, then what will happen, we will be able to segregate the result, right? Instead of using the loop and end loop and putting the where condition, we can directly use it this one. Are you getting what I'm telling? Hello. Okay, so that is the case, and I think Rahul, this is fine.
Yes, Pankaj, yes.
So did you get like what I'm trying to tell over here?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, so in that way we can use, just check once whether we can put the where condition or not. I'm having little doubt
Okay.
whether it supports the where condition or not.
Hmm.
Okay, select single abap true from this variable where condition.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the different one, Harkesh. This also we have discussed later. Subquery also, you can use the subquery here. You can see that select MATNR from MARC, select MARA, MATNR, MARA MTAT for MARA into table data, it underscore tab where MATNR in, select material number from MARC. Existence check here, you can see that we are using the existence check, right? Right outer join also it supports. So these are the like unique feature of the new Open SQL, right? Existence check, right outer join, earlier it was not there, and this is one example of the right outer join. Okay, her case is asking some question here. Okay, so here this existence check we have seen. So these are some feature which is there in the new Open SQL subquery. Select on internal table, just need to check whether it supports the where condition or not. If supports the, I think it should support. I'm getting little doubtful. Some. Okay, what is the host variable in Open SQL and how it is used? So host variable means ABAP variable. For example, whenever you declare the parameters here, p underscore matner, type matner, or p under or select option, or if you define the internal table, right? So all these internal table, work area, variable, whatever we define, or parameter, select option in the program, that is known as the host variable or ABAP variable. Okay, so whenever you are going to use in new Open SQL the ABAP variable or host variable, we are supposed to put at the rate before that variable. If you're going to use in Open SQL, why it is required? Because uh, in the new Open SQL, there are two types of variable. One is the database and another is the ABAP variable. So just to segregate, just to differentiate the variable, for example, select MATNR over here. This is the database field. Okay, so just to make sure that database will understand that what is the ABAP variable, okay, and what is the database variable, we have to just put at the rate before, you know, before the ABAP variable, whatever we are declaring in ABAP program. Okay, so this is one point. And another, what is the new syntax for concatenation? right? So old syntax was this: concatenate my age, lv underscore age is a variable, years into data separated by a space. Now the same thing we can do in this way: my age and the variable we can put inside the curly braces and years. And here, on pipe operator, so with the help of pipe operator and curly braces, we can concatenate the things in the new syntax. Okay, so what is the new syntax for concatenation? This is another question over here: how now you can perform easily the existence check using the Open SQL. So earlier, suppose if you want to check a material is present, all right? So earlier, what we used to do, suppose we have to check a particular material number is present in MARA table or not, right? So what we used to do, select MATNR from MARA, right? From MARA into this particular work area where MATNR equal to P underscore MATNR. And if size of RC equal to 0, then LV underscore exist is a variable. There we used to put ABAP underscore true, or X we used to mark, right? So instead of doing all these things just to check whether that particular value exists or not, directly we can use this. It is so simple, right? Select at the rate ABAP true into at the rate LV underscore exist one from MARA, where MATNR equal to the variable which the value which for which we are looking, right? So this is how we can directly get, and if that value exists, this value automatically will be set as X. This value LV underscore exist one is going to be set as X, capital X. So this extra step is not required, right? This step will not required. In the select query itself, we will be able to check whether a particular value is existing or not. However, these all are not very important interview question, just for knowledge point of view. So if sometimes if interviewer might feel like asking, they can ask. Okay, they can ask, right? These are the genuine question, but not VVA or not very frequently. Wherever the VVA and frequently is there, I will just mark over there. Okay, that should be the main focus. Is below query is possible? Is below query possible now where we have written select query inside in clause? Okay, so here actually my question is here. Your interviewer will give the query like this, and he will ask, is it possible? Is this query is correct or not? Right? So this query is correct or not? Who will tell? Can any one of you tell over here? This select query, here we have select, we are getting some field, right? Two field, MATNR and MTAT field from the MARA table into table. This is the internal table where the material number in, again the select query, right? MATNR from the MARC. So whatever the material is present in MARC table, only those material I'm going to get from the MARA table. Okay. So is this select query is supported? Is it correct? Yes. Harkesh is telling yes. Yes. Awesome, Harkesh. Yeah. This select query is perfectly fine. There is no problem with this select query. This select query is perfectly fine. So another question, can we put the select query on internal table? Yes. Just we have discussed from NetWeaver 7.52, and here you can see that where I have written over here, right? So you can put the where condition on the select query on internal table where condition is possible, right? So this is all well tested. Whatever the code we have written over here, these all are the well tested. So it supports the where condition. Okay, so if you want to segregate some record from the internal table, this is the best way, right? We don't have to loop on the internal table and put the where condition, then we have to write a append statement into the another internal table. In the single statement we can achieve this one, right? Another question, how to get the distinct material from RC table using new Open SQL, right? So if you want to get the distinct material, earlier what we used to do, distinct and all we are not supposed to use earlier. We were supposed to do earlier to not put the more pressure on the database layer, right? So what we used to do, we first used to fetch the data from the database, and then we used to write like delete adjacent duplicates from the internal table, comparing the field on which we want to get the distinct value, right? So here now, because HANA is so powerful, we can use the distinct clause, select distinct MATNR from MARC into table at the rate data it underscore MARC. So it underscore MARC is type, means this is an internal table, right? At the rate data. So it will automatically declare an internal table which will contain the material number, right? So let me write here MATNR instead of MARC, it underscore MATNR is the better naming convention here. So it will give it the unique material from the MARC table. So easy, right? Some question you have to give the answer over here. Is it necessary to have group by clause for aggregate function used in Open SQL? This is very important question. This is VVA question. Okay. This is VVA question. So when you are going to use the aggregate function, is it necessary to have the group by clause at last? Who will give this answer? Let me see. Her case is telling yes. Rahul is telling yes. Awesome, awesome, fantastic. So whenever you are going to use the aggregate function, you must have to use the group by clause for non-aggregate field. All right. So for example, over here, if you have right select some, let's suppose select MATNR or maybe EBELN, right? From EKPO, we are going to fetch some data, EBELN, and then I'm going to some net price NATPR or some currency or quantity field, average, right? Average NATPR from EKPO into table at the rate data IT underscore EKPO. So here at last, at last we must have to give the group by clause, group by C. So this is the aggregated column, right? NETPR is the aggregated column. Non-aggregate column is what? EBELN. So this non-aggregate column, I will put it over here, EBELN. Okay, non-aggregate. So this is important. VVA1. Many a time, my friend come across this kind of question. So this is the important question. Another question in HANA, is it good to use the order by clause when we have to do along with comparison? This is also one tricky question and VVA question. So all these questions based upon the feedback from the different people, different colleague, I have listed it over here. Okay, so answer is yes, this is important. If you want to get the correct result in HANA database, you must have to put the order by clause on which you are doing the comparison. Order by clause is very important if you're going to do some comparison, okay, on the currency or quantity field. Write a select query consisting of aggregate functions. See here, one select query I have written over here consisting the aggregate function. So these are the aggregate functions: sum, average, max, mean, count. Okay, these are the aggregate function. And here you have a non-aggregate column. So you can see after group by, we have written this non-aggregate column. Suppose some more non-aggregate column is there, so that you'll have to give after comma. Whatever the non-aggregate column or non-aggregate fields are there, everything should come after the group by, right? Then only the meaning of aggregate function is there, right? Based upon some grouping only you can do the aggregation. Without grouping aggregation, there is no meaning of aggregation. That's why group by clause is important whenever you use the aggregate function. Whenever you are using the aggregate function, there must be at least one non-aggregate column. There must be at least one non-aggregate column. Okay. Another question. Write a select query to get the distinct material type. Okay, we have seen this one. We have just seen that how to get a distinct material number from the MARC table. Here, suppose if you want to get the distinct material type from the MARA table, this is how we can write. Another question. Write a select query uh, for left outer join. For left outer join, MATNR for MARA and MARC. Okay, left outer join on MATNR for MARA and MARC. So in the same way as we write earlier, the same way in the new OpenSQL, this is also the same. So in the new OpenSQL, whenever you use the comma, it becomes the new OpenSQL. Whenever you use the at the rate, system will understand you are using the new OpenSQL. Okay, and whenever you are using the new OpenSQL throughout the new OpenSQL, you have to use the new OpenSQL syntax only. You cannot mix the old OpenSQL and new OpenSQL. Okay, so in old OpenSQL, this comma is not there, but in new OpenSQL, comma is there, right? In new OpenSQL, at the rate means in new OpenSQL, you have to differentiate the host variable and database variable. So for that purpose, we use the at the rate symbol, right? So these are the two important point in the new OpenSQL. Okay, at the rate and comma. Okay. Another question. Write a select query demonstrating inner join on material number of MARA and MARC. Okay, so we know all these things, right? How to write the inner join on MARA and MARC, and the common field is material number, right? Write a query having multiple inner join. You just can see over here multiple inner join. I will share this PPT. You'll have to fill the form. I will share the form. Okay, just I require your email ID. I will be sharing over there. In which sequence a join inner or outer join condition is manipulated, right? So suppose if you have here, you can see that these are the multiple inner join. So in which sequence this inner join condition is going to be manipulated? So from left to right. Okay, so first the inner join will happen on MARA and MARC. Whatever the result is going to have, with that result, again the inner join is going to have happen with MARDI. Again, whatever the result you have, with those result, the inner join is going to happen with VBAP. Okay, now, so that's why we have written left to right. Now the question over here is inner join is commutative? That means my question is here, let me write this question, you have to give this answer. Is inner join is inner join is commutative? Okay, this is the question. Is inner join is commutative? Means does it hold the commutative law? What is the meaning of commutative law? Commutative law means if addition holds the commutative law, 5 4 plus 5 equals to 5 plus 4, right? This is same, 4 plus 5 and 5 plus 4 both is same. Multiplication does hold the commutative law. Division holds the commutative law or not? Who will tell? Does division holds the commutative law? Just write over here yes or no. Does, no, very good. Division does not holds the commutative law, right? 4 divided by, right, 4 divided by 2 cannot be equal to 2 divided by 4, right? This is wrong. 4 into 2 equals to 2 into 4, that is fine. Multiplication holds good for the commutative law, addition holds good for the commutative law, but the division does not holds good for the commutative law. It is not commutative, right? Similarly, subtraction does not hold good for the commutative law. So here my question is, this inner join, MARA inner join MARC or MARC inner join MARA, okay, This MARDI inner join, MARA inner join, MARCI, or means the sequence over here you have written. If we're going to change the sequence for the inner join, is it going to give you the different result? If it is going to give you the different result, that means it does not hold the law of commutative. It does not hold the commutative law. So is inner join is commutative? Give the answer over here. Yes, awesome, awesome, Om Prakash, fantastic. Om Prakash is telling yes, inner join is commutative. If you have the inner join is commutative. So the answer over here is yes, it is commutative, right? Does not matter if you write VBAP over here or here. It does not matter. Does not matter. It is going to give you the same result. Now another question: is left outer join is commutative? Okay, is left outer join is commutative? Who will give this answer? Just write here in the chat box the you know is left outer join is commutative. Is left outer join is commutative. So answer over here, let me see. uh yes, good, awesome, Hakesh, Ubaid, Prakash, awesome, Rahul, fantastic. Yes, no, not possible, right? If you understand the concept of left outer join and right outer join, these are not commutative. No, not possible. Okay, it will give you the different result. It will give you the different result. What will be the case of full outer join? Is the full outer join is commutative? Is the full outer join is commutative? Answer. So I got one ping over here. Yes, Harkesh, awesome. Yes, full outer join is commutative, right? Full outer join is commutative. Okay, full outer join is commutative, right? Good. Let's go to the next slides and see. Okay, we have already written this question. Is inner join commutative? What is the okay? What is the meaning of inner join is commutative? So just we understood what is the meaning of inner join commutative. Whether you write Mara inner join on Marcy, or you write over here Marcy inner join Mara on this material number, right? Both is going to give you the same result, right? Give few example of select query with concatenation on the fly. So concatenation on fly, right? While doing the select query itself, if you want to do the concatenation, then how to do, right? So here this is for case and when. This answer is for case and when. Okay. So for concatenation, suppose if you want to do on the fly, we have to use the pipe operator. With the help of pipe operator, we can you know do the concatenation on the fly. I think somewhere else I have written, let me check. Hmm, this is for case and when only. Yeah, here we have the answer, concatenation on fly. So let me do one thing, I will cut this one and I'll put it over here. So this is how we can do. So suppose if you want to concatenate, okay, this material number and material type. So sorry, no pipe operator is required over here, only ampersand, double ampersand. If we're going to give it over here, it will just concatenate. So material number and mtat, if you want to concatenate, right, we can concatenate on the fly like this. Inside the parenthesis we can write. So give one example of select query with concatenation on fly, right? This we can remove. Another question over here, write a select query to replace the below selector query. So here you have here you have this set of codes. Your interviewer has given this set of code. What he has given: select material number and material type from MARA into table IT underscore MARA, and loop on IT underscore MARA into work area. And if the material type is FEIT, put the material description as a finished product. If material type is raw material, put the material description as raw material. If material type is semi-finished, put the description as a semi-finished, right? So, and at last, you are modifying the internal table. In this internal table, you have the extra field called material description. You are just populating that one. So these many codes we want to replace with the new Open SQL syntax, right? So this is how we'll have to write using the select query. In a single select query, we are going to do this thing, right? And this is, in case of HANA database, this is the way we are supposed to do. We want to leverage the power of HANA, which is having the massive parallel processing, which is having the installation inside the RAM, correct? So you can see the material mtart. Here the case statement: if the mtart is FEAT, then finished. If mtart is ROH, then raw material, and if mtart is HLB, then the semi-finished. Else other end as material description. The same thing you can achieve with the help of this select query. Okay. College function. What is this college function? What is this college function? What is the use of college function? Okay. So college function means, see, here let's try to understand with this example. Select material number MATNR, mtart, college, works, and another thing over here is no plant as plant. Okay. That means, suppose if we are going to put this query right on MARA table, here we are using the left outer join MARA and MARC. On the MARA and MARC, we have the left outer join. Here it's telling if the plant for that material is found in MARC, get that plant, and put in the plant field. If it is not found, right over there, no plant. That's the meaning of college function. College function will determine if some value is not found in the table, what to be the value of that particular field. Okay, that's the meaning of college function. So if that plant is found, that's fine, put that plant number in the plant. If not found, put no plant in that plant. That's the meaning of college function. Hope it's clear, right? So that's the meaning of college function. Let's go and see some more. To understand the suffix, also watch YouTube video. Yeah, this suffix, one concept of suffix is there. This is little tricky here. It is not possible for me to explain. That's why I have written it. To understand this, go through the YouTube video over there. You will understand. It will take some time to make you understand. Some solid example would require, right? So that's why let's leave this. This one is easy. Okay. So how to populate the internal table, right, in using the new syntax? So the first criteria, your internal table should be defined with key. Okay, with key, either with default key or with a standard key. You must have to give this addition, otherwise it will give you the error. Okay, so define your internal table with default key or with a standard key, right? So we can do in a various way. The table type itself we can define with default key or standard key, and then with reference of that table type we can define the internal table. Then that the internal table will become with default key or standard key. Or here directly, data it underscore mara type table of ts underscore mara with default key or with a standard key, right? We can define. So we must have to specify the key explicitly, then only it works. Okay, then only it works. So here you can see that if you want to populate this internal table value, So we can use the value operator. This is known as a value operator. Then hash. What is the meaning of hash? Hash means it will determine the type dynamically based upon this internal table. Okay, it will determine type here. So either you can write this value hash, or you can give this value tt underscore mara. Both ways is fine. So if you give like this value tt underscore mara and then this is also fine. Or else you can give over here hash. So meaning of hash means whatever the type of this internal table is, that it will take automatically over here, dynamic type determination. Okay, so both syntax is fine. Either you give this, you know, hard coded type, or just give the hash, that is fine. So two important point over here, that make your internal table as make your internal table with default key, or with a standard key, and then it underscore mara, you can use value hash or value that table type, right? So this is the point which we can remember. So let me write this question. This question can be like this: write a simple example of a value operator with which we can fill the internal table on fly, right? So here you can see that we can prepare our internal table so easily. So another example, let me delete this one, not required. How to replace below syntax with new syntax. So here, suppose if you have this one, right? You are putting the loop on it underscore mara. This it underscore mara, let's suppose you have the material number, right? And you have some material type. So this it underscore mara is having two fields, material number and material type. Let's assume, okay? So whenever the material type is mat2, okay, just assume, or let's give some valid material type roh. Okay, so whenever the roh is there, segregate those record from it underscore mara into a different internal table it underscore mara one, right? So loop at it underscore mara into work area where mtart equal to roh, right? And put those material number into one another work area and append those one into this it underscore mara one, right? So we are segregating the material number where roh is this. The same thing with the help of new syntax we can do very easily over here. It underscore mara one, the same thing, equals to value has dynamic determination of the type, right? For work area, we are putting the loop in this for work area mara in it underscore mara, where mtart equal to mat2, and this is just for transferring the value. So what value you want to transfer? You want to transfer material number only, so put material number. If you want to transfer material type also, just write it over here, mtart equal to, you'll have to give one space and you have to write like this. uh, Not a space, actually you'll have to give like this. In another parenthesis, you'll have to write mtart equals to wa underscore mara hyphen mtart. Okay, so like that you'll have to write if you want to get the material type, or simply this you want to replicate, this much is sufficient. Okay, this much is sufficient. Okay, I got some ping, let me check that ping. Her case is telling I like very much for loop. Ah, awesome, awesome, awesome. Fantastic. Yeah. So it is so easy, right? So easy to populate the internal table, right? Using the for loop and value operator. Okay. So you can also refer the Naimesh Patel blog. Naimesh Patel, one of the, you know, very, just you can write new Open SQL, Naimesh Patel. Nicely he has written with, example. So in fact, when I was preparing all these things, I have taken his reference very nicely, loop at group by and all. So if you don't have time, or if you don't have the YouTube access in the company, then maybe you can go and you can learn, very nicely explained. Okay, on SAP Yard also they have written very well. So these are some good place from where we can learn. If you want to, if you don't prefer the video mode, if you prefer the blog mode, then these are very good blogs. Okay, leave this one. Let's keep it simple. Fine. So let's stop here. And today, tomorrow we'll see some more stuff. I will fill it up. Okay. Today I will just do all these things, what we have to discuss tomorrow. And then there are so many things I have to just make it prepare in the form of interview questions and answers, so that, I can present to you in this format. It is not easy for me to present. So, I will do this, and we'll discuss further tomorrow the another important, and another important stuff. So let's stop today and meet tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be having the interview questions and answer, or today is Sunday. If you are interested over here, today also we can have.